Who would you cite as some of your musical influences?
I get a lot of guitar tapping techniques from Dave Knudsen from Minus the Bear. I've listened to a lot of Godspeed You Black Emperor, Zeros, Explosions in the Sky, stuff like that.
It's almost over, it's just begun. Don't overthink this, look in my eye. Don't be scared, don't be shy, come on in, the water's...
Neat Nation, welcome back to the Droopy Whiskey Show.
Everyone, what is going on? It is Brian.
Neat Nation.
Everyone, what is going on? It is Brian. We are back.
Neat Nation, welcome back.
Everyone, what is going on? It is Brian.
Nation, happy Thursday. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I spent an inappropriate amount of time on that today.
You started off and that's the second reference that someone has made. I was in the office, I was in the lab, I was in the roastery, and someone said, Lindsay needs you in the office. So I run over to the office. I open the door, and blaring is some song that I wrote 16 years ago,
long time ago,
on the loudspeaker, and they're just all laughing. They're just like watching YouTube videos. This is a second music video reference of mine.
It was awesome,
but then it got real cool. That's a good job.
Thanks, man. I needed to. I was looking for clips, and I just accidentally searched on YouTube Brian Bikey instead of Abandoned Bourbon.
I just accidentally,
and it was awesome. It was literally the best possible thing I could have found.
Yeah, there's actually a ton of stuff there. I'm sorry about that.
Kyle says he can't hear us. Squad, are we not hearable? Because that would be depressing. I don't see anything in the chat to insinuate we're not hearable. That would bite.
No, I can hear if I turn the volume on the YouTube stream up, I can hear it.
So it's a Kyle problem.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Well, those of you who aren't Kyle, Jeff says we're audible. Appreciate that. Squad, thanks for joining tonight. Bringing a lot of energy, a lot of big hair energy to this stream. Stoked to be getting into some Van Winkles. Kyle says, my phone works, TV is weird. That is bizarre. Sounds like your TV is broken. That's what I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
Or,
did you have a power outage anytime soon? Have you possibly lost your sound?
Maybe he did. Brian, I am, how I have a terrible habit of being a terrible human being and forgetting who gave us what we're tasting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what happened right now. I meant to look this up earlier to shout out this amazing human being for giving us, these Van Winkle samples. Crap. Bear with me. We're going to get into this, though. Let me talk about the agenda, and then I will sing the profuse praises of this human being. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to taste Old Rip, Van Winkle, and Lot B, and Weller 107. We're going to talk about these whiskeys. I have some takes. I don't have Weller 12. I thought about lining that up, too, but I don't have it. But I just recently tasted it, because that's a good comp for Lot B, which is a 12-year-old. Weller 107 is a good comp for Old Rip.
Nearly identical in what they are. Proof.
The only specs. Difference, really. Correct. So, I'll talk a little bit when we're tasting through my recollections of Weller 12 to add to the comparison for sure. We'll get to that. Again, I'm going to have to stick my face in my phone, stimulating TV, obviously. Just get in the chat here for a second. Derek
Dan's the one who Dan's the one who sent these samples to us.
Dan the man. Dan, last name? Hit me with the last name.
Barber.
Right. Yes, that's correct. So Dan Barber, thanks, man. If you're in the chat, let your face be seen. Really, really appreciate that. Super
cool. That's
generous.
actually maybe what I'll open up with is
this Joker ended up with these 2 bottles this year and just was very eager, willing to share them with us. So that's just legendary because they're even samples, pours are hard to come by at this stuff. Anyway, Derek says suggestions of buttercream landed, cracking it next week for graduation, sending me some good vibes on the software engineering job hunt. Yes, dude, I'm emanating vibes right now. Big shout out to Loveface. That's Eric Sawyer. Eric Sawyer, he's playing the bit right now, but he quit his job because he got a new job. So I think he's already a couple beers in tonight. So Eric, congrats on that job.
I wish I was.
Robert Shea giving you some love as this is a fun thing to actually introduce though. Brian, why don't you just give a little side pitch here on the project you're running with the Bourbon Pursuit dudes?
Sure. Yeah. So a couple months back, I started working with the Pursuit Spirit dudes, kind of doing some marketing communications for Pursuit Spirits brand, and started working on podcasts for them for Pursuit Spirits brand. And this week, first 4 episodes of said podcast for the Pursuit Spirits brand released. I have to keep saying that because everyone's like, you're on Bourbon Pursuit? No, I'm not on Bourbon Pursuit. Guys from Bourbon Pursuit who started Pursuit Spirits, they have another podcast that I'm on with them, asking them questions about what it's like to get into the bourbon brand, which is interesting because it's, they've got a leg up because of Bourbon Pursuit. But then they just dive into what it takes to what they're dealing with and coming across starting a whiskey brand. So first 4 episodes out, bi-weekly podcast. It's pretty fun.
Sick. I'm gonna try and get my headphones in here because I spent all the time working on the intro video and I'm unprepared for the rest of this.
Dude, I want more of that pop out when we were blasting Baby Keem.
Yeah, it's because I put them in and then they were not working and then I pulled them out, so I missed most of the banger. We're gonna have to replay it halfway through. Let me get to my audio. Anyway, let's do our buffet of bits here before we get into the Van Winkles. What's your first pour of the night?
Ooh, I cheersing to Dan. I'm sipping on a little bit of Obtainium Polish Rye.
Nice. Is that the sample that we had gotten? Is that what you're drinking?
Yeah, he'd thrown that in with the with the Winkle products.
Yeah, I think they've released multiple batches of that, and his batch is actually better than the batch that I have because I'm working on the tail end of that bottle, and I did a little recreational side by side of my batch of the Polish Rye and the one he sent, and I enjoyed his better for sure. I started with a little, because we're going to be doing some weededs. I did a little FAE01, which is just a easy drinker, kind of saving my FAE02. But I'm getting that palate prepped. My palate's been on. You sound a little sick, I got to say. How do you feel? You feeling okay? You feeling good?
No, I feel fine. I just
okay, great.
Had a weird kind of like, what is that going on? But I haven't paid attention to it much. And then I then I had a migraine tonight. So I actually I've been on the couch doing like this for like the last hour and fell asleep and then woke back up 5 minutes before coming on here. So
yeah, I was wondering where you were at, and I was like, "Oh, we need Brian."
I was just dead on the couch, just like, oh, my head, just being a wino about it. It's over.
Right.
It's over.
It's all right. OCD Bourbon Bar is upset that he missed the little intro bit. I'm not going to blow it.
It's good too.
It's a minute and a half. I might play it again after the first hour. So that's what we'll do. Is at intermission. Yeah, 100%. I'll play it again if you missed it. This is worth watching. I mean, I expect Academy Award for that. What bottles did you pick up? I know you mentioned that A few.
Oh,
You've
gosh.
been on the prowl, as they say. But what new bottles have we added this last week?
Anyone who's been following you and I on who follows us on the socials, if you don't, you should, at Drew P Whiskey,
A lot
at
of good
Abandoned
content
Bourbon
there.
on Instagram. We were together last week, and at the tail end of the trip, right before we jumped on the stream, actually, we ran out to a Kroger and found an Elijah Craig barrel proof pick that had dropped. Well, since then, too, another location had dropped another Elijah Craig barrel proof pick. My buddy brought a case for me to distribute out to other buddies here in town. And then there's a cigar bar across the water from me here in Louisville, so just in Indiana. And they dropped one. And so we've just been having a lot of Elijah Craig barrel. I don't have any of them here. They're all in the car. But a lot of Elijah Craig barrel proof picks. If you all didn't see it last week when we got into it, I got the Penelope 13-year American Light whiskey. I just got in this pre-fire Heaven Hill mellow corn bottle. Looking forward to that. Yeah, looking forward to
Robert
that.
And then, appreciate that. Everybody should be hitting the thumbs up. I mean, let's just consider that. We'll consider it consideration. Reasonable payment for the content. A nice little thumbs up. Sick.
Yeah, absolutely free to give that thumbs up on the content. Last pick, Corona Cigar Bar, Staggy J. So
that I'm only calling it Staggy J now. I love that. That's
just a little Staggy J.
That's got some flow for sure.
Just a little Staggy J.
OCD grabbed a Knob Creek 15.95. That's right. Dude, that's actually on the low end of what you can expect to pay right now. So that's a good deal, my friend. Good pickup there. I had mentioned on the trip, I had got the A.H. Taylor. And then you had got, I did the Smoke Wagon, which you had gotten for me. I paid you for, but you helped me procure. But then you also helped me procure this Hancock's pick. So this is Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 2, the lowest proof single barrel from Mash Bill number 2 that is released. This is the first. I've never even tried Hancock's, so look forward to getting into this soon. And then Elsa, who's a friend of the show, has sent me the new Chattanooga's Scotch finish.
Dang, cool.
Bunch of Chattanooga samples. So super generous of her. Really appreciate that. She's also the one who helped me. I did pay for this one, but the Pfeiffer Pavitt EXO release, she's the one who helped me nab that. So Nation awesome. Just coming through for sure. Right now, though, I'm in a hold pattern. Like that trip kind of set me back a little bit. Thankfully we didn't pay for the tours, but picking up a few bottles, the barrel picks, the Airbnb, gas, it's a lot. Squad, I might have to run upstairs. I can hear the kids losing it. We traditionally give our kids these little nighttime gummies that have like a dash of melatonin. But then I was like reading about melatonin, and I need to actually ask a doctor about melatonin because I'm not a do your own research guy. Shout out Aaron Rodgers. So I want to actually ask a doctor. We have not done that yet. So we took them off the gummies, and they just take longer to go to sleep. But it sounds like maybe she stepped on a Lego or something. Kind of a whole big thing happening up there. Y'all, Nation, what else are you drinking? We got a couple Knob Creek 15 remarks here. Andrew paid 104.
Johnny 5
paid 110.
Johnny 5. If you go back to our live stream from last week, we did go ahead and pop the Penelope and an Obtainium 13-year to compare. So we talk about that there. And I do have a plan. I have an Obtainium on its way to me myself. And I thought about doing another video for that, or just doing a breakdown of the Obtainium. The Penelope. But it is tasty.
Porkins, what'd you get, man? Which driver? Did you get the new Sim, or not the Sim, the Phantom, whatever from TaylorMade? I think that looks dopey, but nice. You can get them custom colored. I think if I was to buy a driver right now, I would probably lean towards the Ping G425. But Sawyer and I were talking about that the other day. It's neither here nor there. I'm not buying another driver. I play the Cobra F9. I got a good deal. Bought it used. Hit it pretty well. Low spin. Keep it around 2,000 RPM. Knock it out there about 250. Carry, depending on your simulator, though. TSI 3, nice. Sick. That's what Old Man Bourbon's playing. That's a good driver. You're a Titleist guy. You ready to get into the Van Winkles? We won't keep the people waiting any longer.
Sure, why not?
15 minutes in. So, again, thanks to Dan Barber and thanks to Brian for helping me keep track of this stuff. Oh, I do have a bonus round. Who gave me the... Oh, gosh, I am such an awful person. I was also sent a sample of Weller Full Proof. I'm going to write this stuff down because I try to remember it and then I just...
Oh, I should have gone and gotten that. I have some downstairs.
So, yeah. So, Weller Full Proof, of course, is not really comparable. So, I'll come to that after and just talk about it a little bit in light of these other products. But I had just killed a bottle of Weller 107, so I saved a little bit. And then I have nipped at these Van Winkles a little bit before because I wanted to be like prepared. I didn't want my only taste of these products to be on this. I'm also rocking my Aged in Ore tasting set for this, so shout out Aged in Ore. All right, I'm putting Old Rip. Wow, jeepers, these are big samples too. These are like 2 ounce samples, Dan. Like soup's generous. I don't even need that much right now.
I'm gonna get another glass over here for
because when we get into hour 2, we've got 5 different samples from Porkins. Shout out Porkins. I mean, I probably wouldn't need to buy whiskey if I just drank the entirety of the samples that Porkins.
Look what I'm just realizing how low I am on this. I had no idea I was this low. Hold on my
low.
Weller.
I'm gonna assume that's almost oxidized at this point.
Ugh.
So we've got
That's the
Old Rip
worst.
on the right, your left, stage whatever. Old Rip, Lot B, and then 107. Which, if you guys are friends of the channel, you watch, you know that I'm a big Weller 107 guy. Really, really dig that. So it's kind of a good benchmark whiskey. It's kind of the wheated bourbon that I assess all other wheated bourbons off of. Okay. All right. Which one do you want to start with, Brian? You want to start with Lot B or you want to start with Old Rip?
I personally really like Old Rip Van Winkle as a product in the lineup, more so generally than the 12. I'd say we could start from the 12.
Okay.
Low proof.
I'm curious to hear your take, but let's start with a little assessment as we nasify this. General assessment of the Van Winkle line as it exists today. Like the hype against the quality of the product. Yeah, give me a conjectural take. You're assessing Van Winkle product. Somebody's like, hey, what do you think of the Van Winkle stuff? What's the deal, dare I say?
Yeah.
With Van Winkle. How do you answer?
I would say that the Van Winkle lineup are presumably the honey barrels of wheated products from specific ages from Buffalo Trace. What else do they have? Do they put the wheaters in anything else besides the Weller line? It's straight Weller, right? Okay. So the green label Weller, I can't even talk about the colors because then I would talk forever. There's so many colors now. They came out with a bunch.
But let's just try and hit the main ones.
I guess where I was going is they've made some very affordable wheated whiskeys and they're pretty good ages too. They had a mainstay product in the $20 range. It's gone up since. A 12-year-old wheated bourbon, like age stated, pretty cool. Cool product.
Super good.
And what again, basically the Van Winkle I would assume is just this cream of the crop. But I don't know because I've not heard anyone tell me otherwise. It's from a different place in the warehouse. It's what because it's not barrel proof. They're 90, 94, and in the case of the Old Rip Van Winkle and the 15-year 107 proof. Yeah. So well-aged, well-picked wheated bourbons that have been highlighted in this Van Winkle lineup that comes out once a year, just like the antique collection. And they have some older ones, even harder to come by, right? They say those are the Pappy Van Winkles because they carry the Pappy Van Winkle face on them. And the other
15,
product's just part of the
20 and 23.
Which are super old wheated bourbons for the market. And then
somebody
they had a rye in there too. Yep.
Yeah, somebody had thrown that question out to us, like, what's the difference between just the Van Winkles and the Pappies? Is traditionally the Pappies are 15, 20, and 23. And then there's this family special reserve lot B, that's the 12-year, and then the 10 years, the old Rip Van Winkle. It's a lot to keep track of. But then there is the family reserve rye, and that comes out almost every year, but then there are years off. It's can't always get it. But I got to imagine, well, actually, I have no idea where that comes from. That apparently has come from a lot of different places over the years. But going back to the nature of the product, as you were talking, it does. I'm not entirely sure the nature of the what's the name of the family? Oh, the Van Winkles. Right. No, I thought it's like the Coles, Beans, and Willets for a minute. Like I was like, wait, no. But then it's Julian Van Winkle and then his kids. So I don't know what their arrangement is with Sazerac in terms of barrel selection. To your point, Brian, I'm going to assume that they don't contract distill because then they're going to be sitting on a lot of barrels that they have to do something with. And I don't know what they're doing with them. They don't have a bottom shelf line of wheated bourbons under the Van Winkle name. So they probably have an arrangement to procure a certain amount of barrels that somehow get set aside out of the Weller stocks, because that is the only wheated mash bill being produced by Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, the unique thing, not to get too like inside baseball, but the thing that's really neat about Weller 12, Lot B, and William LaRue Weller, which is not one of the Van Winkles, but it is a cask strength wheated in the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, is all three of these are 12-year products. So seemingly the only difference is the proof, with the Weller 12 coming in at 90, I'm fairly certain. Lot B coming in at 94. And then again, William LaRue Weller being cask strength. Otherwise, I would say they're nearly similar products. So the thing that's kind of a disservice to this live, and I do plan to do videos individually on a different 107 versus the old Rip Van Winkle and the Weller 12 versus Lot B, is that I've done probably three. That's not a ton, but I've done 3 blinds, various years of Weller 12s with Lot B, and every time Weller 12 has beaten the Lot B. I can't say the same about 107. That's not always been the results of 107s. Usually, to me, this maybe is like something I should say at the end of the video, but I'll say it now. The way that I judge if it's a good 107 pick is if, like, put in a blind, it can beat out old Rip Van Winkle, because I think we'll come to talk about it. And I think flavor wise, does it warrant the hype? We'll talk more about it here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But profile wise, the flavor and the proof are about the same, pretty comparable. And so I always say, 107 picks I like way more than the foolproof picks from experience. And that's usually what I would use as a sign. It's like, if it could beat it out in a blind, that's a solid pick. Okay. Did you taste one already? We're working on Lot B.
We're working on Lot B, and I have a take here on Lot B that's kind of in contradiction to yours. So I had just had, recent Weller 12 batch when I was in Texas. It's on video. You can see my maybe I should put it in the show notes below, but you can see the video my brother and I shot popping his Weller 12. And it was fine. It was good. It was honey. It was pears, and it was fine. You don't get a lot of oak presence in the profile. And picking up this Lot B, I might get a touch more oak. It's still so subdued in a 12-year-old product. Even nasally speaking, I get a lot of like really fluffy sweetness, but it's pears, maybe some milk chocolate. I definitely shouted out pears when I was doing the Weller 12 stuff.
Yeah.
It's honey and it's kind of floral and it's really good. I'm gonna put, like, based on my memory of the Weller 12 that night and my couple tastings of this lot B, I'm gonna give the leg up to the lot B, but not by like a large margin. Not by what secondary value would tell you. Not like, I mean, secondary value on lot B has got to be what, like 700 against a 200 something for a Weller 12, which is bananas. It's just bananas. I would say you shouldn't ever consider paying secondary value for either a lot B or an old rip. Like, I'll just say that out of the gate. But I really enjoy this. Like I said, I think it's a little bit better than the Weller 12, in my opinion. I think it's just a little bit more viscous, a little more rich, but not like dramatically so. I'll compare it. I'll save my take in comparing with the old rip after we taste the old rip and kind of assess it on its own merit. Then we'll compare these two. Then we'll bring in the Weller 107. I already shouted out some notes, but what are you pulling? What are you snorting out of this sucker?
This Weller 12 is interesting. So the thing that I have a problem
Weller
with
12 or lot B? What, the lot B?
Sorry, I don't have Weller 12 out here. I meant the lot B.
Okay. Lot B.
The thing that I get a problem with sometimes with Buffalo Trace is that if I were to be blinded all products from Buffalo Trace across the board, I doubt I would get all of the ryes and wheateds and bourbon, like rye bourbon profiles right, because they just share so many similar flavors. Like, this sits in that same flavor pocket as normal Buffalo Trace products. And so to me, like so again, just I don't want to make this a don't buy Van Winkle's thing, but like, this smells like a Buffalo Trace pick. It's the same noses that you would get on a Buffalo Trace pick. And this is lot B in a Van Winkle collection that comes out once a year. But you're right on the pears. It's got like a canned fruit note, for however you take that. It has a soft,
I like canned
note.
fruit, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's a little medicinal characteristic to it, but I can't tell if it's not very pronounced or it's just that this is low proof and so it's kind of softer in the glass. But it's kind of funky. It's got a musty, kind of stewed, intense kind of fruit thing. Like, I don't want to quite say Armagnacs like when we were talking about Dusties, but there is a kind of funky, slightly musty, dusty, like note to it. But it's like you get maybe 25% of that and 75% the typical aromas from Buffalo Trace products.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree with you. Like, for what this is supposed to be, it's a pretty big letdown. Like, it's a good bourbon. It's good. Like, no one should say it's not good, but it's a big letdown against the hype. And that's so generally going to be true. Most bourbons against the hype are going to let you down a little bit.
It's the hype that makes it so disappointing. In general, this is supposed to be a $70 bourbon. And they might have raised MSRP this year, but this is supposed to be a $70 bourbon. You know what else is a $70 bourbon? A 5-year bottle of MGP sourced product from Nulu or something. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, value wise, it's a solid bottle of bourbon, but we've put the expectations for it all the way up here. And that's going to make people flip them for crazy money. It's going to make people say, I'm so disappointed in this thing. But that's why I brought up the Weller, right? You know, people say the same thing about Weller. They're like, this is a terrible bourbon. Be like, it is a $25 bourbon. What do you expect? It's a 12-year age stated, 90 proof weeder. It's not going to give you the world, man. But for what it's worth, I do like Weller 12. Have you gone into the palate?
Weller 12 is not a $25 bourbon anymore, but what's that? Yeah, I've gone to the palate.
I asked if you had tasted.
Yeah, I mean, all my notes were an amalgamation of both smell and taste.
Yeah, way oakier on the palate. But it is very sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I get some wood, but I don't get like a lot of richness. You know, I don't get maple syrups or brown sugars much. It's
easy to drink.
Lighter. Yeah, of course.
Easy to drink.
Crushable.
Elegant.
It's delicious.
I think it's got elegant caramel, vanilla. Actually, a little bit more traditional whiskey flavors than I don't know. I haven't had Lot B in a while. I think I just thought it would be slightly different, but it's kind of decadent. got like a fruity surrounding to it, but otherwise it's kind of like just a silky, decadent, easy drinking pour. It doesn't have some spice. You know, sometimes in some of the weeders you get, and maybe we will find that in the tenure. I usually get a little bit more spice stricken, you know, a little bit more cinnamon or something, but I don't get that with this. It's really easy.
Yeah. I have nothing else to add. I'm ready to go to the Old Rip if you are.
Yeah. Super, not very complex, just easy to drink.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it kind of tastes like I said, like Weller 12. Going to Old Rip now, picking up the nose after this, I remember when I tasted these initially, when I opened my sample jars and just did a little nip, I was not big on the nose of Old Rip. I'm getting a lot of really candy sweetness now, like Laffy Taffy, kind of fruity, stretchy, artificial fruit kind of smells, which I wasn't really pulling fruit notes out originally. There's a little bit of a roasted nut, not sharp, not peanutty, more in the cashew family.
I think there's a big perfume note to it. Like it's got a, if you were mentioning a little bit of florals to the 12, I think they're a lot more intense in the 10. I really like this, honestly.
I like the nose on this too.
It's got a balanced spice
me right
to it.
Now.
Balanced spice to it. Has kind of like you said, you said a roasted nut. I get that, and I'm always surprised by that. It's got like kind of short nuttiness to it that I think, I don't know, whenever I used to think weeders, I think I always thought that meant they would be absent of spice, because when I think of rye spice, I think of spice. Yeah. But it's hard sometimes for me to flip on my mind. That doesn't mean it takes away spice. There's still other spice that could be there. And you get like cinnamon spice. You get, other things. I'll wait until I taste it on the palate. But yeah, it's like buttered.
I'm ready.
I'm not going to say buttered
Down
toast, but America. Yeah, it's like
the proof is
I thought it was super juicy on the front, but then it has a cinnamon is right in the middle, which is weird because I don't take the note of cinnamon red hots and think to myself, if I like read it, I don't go, oh, I can't wait to try that. But I would have to say it about this. I mean, it tastes like cinnamon red hots candy.
I had an Old Forester barrel strength that was like cinnamon red hots, and I was not vibing. This one, that I get what you're saying with the red hot note, but it's much more subtle, and it's coupled with some sweetness. And the 107 proof is very mellow, like it's not blow your face off with heat. And then you get the cinnamon spiciness. It's more. I feel like this is actually, and I one of the things I gotta say is I thought in my initial tasting, I was liking the Lot B better that night, which is why it's really interesting to taste things multiple days. I was vibing on Lot B, and 107 was falling flat and harsh for me. It's anything but flat and harsh right now.
Man, it's a lot. It's like honey and a slight bit of oatiness.
I get that French oak vibe, that rich, sweet floral oak.
I can't even say fruitiness because, on this one, when I was talking about the notes, it was like canned fruit. And I said it was like stewed. It was saturated fruit. This has fruits, but it doesn't come off fruit forward on the palate. It's like after it lingers, you notice the fruits. It's like as if the fruit flavor just kind of wraps all of the other experience that you get. Not fruit forward.
Yeah, I get like
definitely notice it in the finish.
I do think it's like a pink Laffy Taffy. I mean, like I said, I think it's like a candy fruit flavor, not like an acidic, juicy vibe.
I think it tastes oakier than the 12-year.
I think the proof is helping with that. To be fair, I thought it smelled more woody than the 12. I'm going to get double snort here.
That's good. That's good. But I'm not a nace. I do think someone, Porkins had asked in here, he said that he had a 15 a long time ago. It was Stitzelweller. Yeah, it does not taste like that anymore, man. When I had the 15, which we're not tasting tonight, so I could talk about it. I've had a pour of the 15 at my buddy's house. I've had it a couple of times since. And the 15 year to me, it's a little bit more oaky, which I like. I like the oakiness, but it just tastes like a little bit richer, a little bit more cake battery, but it doesn't really change much. It's just like, oh, that's a little sweeter, a little oakier. But it's not like life-changing to me. It's just like, wow, that's a really good bourbon. So at MSRP pricing, yeah, all day. Like its value is perfect. Where it's at now, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do
Can't do it. Yeah.
Can't do
it's
it.
tough. And I wouldn't buy any of these, like I said, at secondary. I'd buy them all. Like to what you were saying, at MSRP, they're great whiskeys. They really are. There's nothing to hate on in either one of these. Like you said, there may be a slight medicinal finish in the Lot B.
But only in the nose. It's on the palate.
I was getting a little kind of white pepper finish, a slight astringency. But nothing bad. Of course, it's not young. It's good distillate, aged the right amount of time. And then it's like they spend some reasonable effort selecting them, obviously. And so they're good. If you had to choose one between these two, I think I know the answer, but let's just be clear. Which one are you liking more, the Lot B or the 107?
Oh, man.
Lot B or Old Rip, to be clear.
I think that Lot B is too subtle and lacking complexity. It's drinkable. I like it.
Yeah.
But I prefer the 107.
I think I'm with you, which again was not my take initially, but today that's where I'm at.
I have a bottle of 107. It's that I'm happy to have. We won one.
An Old Rip.
My mom. We tried to make an annual thing for me and Mom to go around. Usually, like on Black Friday. This is a couple years back. Kroger would open up, and you could enter in at every Kroger location that had a liquor store from the hours like 5 to 9, and then the next day they did all the drawings. So as many Krogers as you could hit in Kentucky, you just open that time. They've changed it now, but my mom got called for one, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to go get it." I'm like, "Go get it!" so
I will murder you.
Yeah.
All right. Now the next phase of this is to discuss Weller 107 against the Old Rip. So let's do a tasting. Now, granted, we've got different probably batches of the Weller 107 here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, mine's a pick, but I will even go on record and say, for the most part, I actually even like the Shelfer 107 more than a handful of picks as well.
The nose is more subtle. So I'm into the nose on the Weller 107. It's more subtle, a little bit musty.
Dan, the man's in.
Yes, Dan, we're talking about your whiskeys, bro. We've discussed already the Old Rip and the Lot B. We're both liking the Old Rip better, actually, which I had done an initial tasting when I first got your samples. The Old Rip's taken it tonight, though. It just delivers really, really nicely. We're also discussing the hype and that it's certainly overblown for Van Winkle products, though they're good. And one of the things I will say before I dive deeper into this, we're now tasting Weller 107 against it. One of the things I will say is it's got to be fun to land a bottle of it. Like, I don't want to diminish the thrill of getting a Van Winkle product because it's so rare, right? I mean, so if anybody's jacked about getting Van Winkle, if anybody wants to spend over MSRP to get one because of the experience, dude, do your thing, have a ball, have fun. Like, it's your money. Like, we're assessing it on the quality of the whiskey, but there is more to it than that. And I've talked about that in relationship to hunting other whiskeys is sometimes it's just about the hunt. Like, deer meat's not that good. It's not. But the fun of deer hunting,
debatable. There's some venison jerky that and sausage that I can't.
Yeah, but that's the
nice cheddar venison
process.
Come on,
process of making sausage. Like, most of that's not the venison. You mix like venison meat with pork fat and then a buttload of spices. You get a dank sausage, and then the jerky. It's marinated anyway. So if you're having a venison steak up against a Angus ribeye or whatever, or a Wagyu whatever, it's not going to be anywhere near as good. That said, it's about the hunt, and the hunt is so fun. And when you finally bag a big buck, like the 8-pointer I have up on the wall right over there, sick, Like, there's only one thing better in the world than killing a big buck. We'll leave that to the imagination. But the same applies for whiskey. Scoring a rad bottle off the shelf or however you score it, it's thrilling. It's thrilling. All right. Let's talk about Weller 107. I was saying on the nose, a little bit mustier, still sweet, just maybe not quite as refined, not as floral, but inviting. I mean, Weller 107 always kind of does it for me. It's the right profile. It's not, the nose is also not very pronounced. It's sweet, a little musty. But I'm having.
If you lived in Ohio, I would say that this is like your drinker, right? This is your all day, every day. Like, why would you not?
I do get maybe a slight deeper level here, going like past honey, into maybe maple brown sugar, but lightly.
Dude, mine smells like honey and apple juice, like apple juice from concentrate.
Interesting. I like that.
It's like it's slightly fresh orange, slightly fresh apple, but like definitely concentrated juice.
Mine's so mellow on the nose. I'm gonna just get in the palate here and hopefully it helps open things up.
MW's making some comments as if he's never had sausage from Webb's here in Louisville, Kentucky, which could be completely fair. I would be surprised if you were familiar with that. But if you were familiar, you'd know. You'd know to be on the hunt. One of my buddies, he goes deer hunting every year, and he takes the meat up to Webb's, and he'll make cheddar sausages and Cajun sausages and hot dogs and tons of different. He'll get all the jerkies made or whatever. And I remember getting a little grab bag of stuff last year, and so good.
Dig it. So
a little gamey, a little gamey. Kristen was like, I don't know about this. And I'm like, it's fine.
I'm hungry now. So on this Weller 107, not getting notes of venison sausage. It's a little bit more rough around the edges, still really nice and sweet. The finish, it's like dark cocoa, but not really sweet. You know, we're talking like a 85% dark chocolate bar, which I love dark chocolate, but it's like if they didn't introduce any sugar to it at all.
And yours is a shelf drying
effect. Yeah. I'm just saying the mouth tactile is like that. I don't get big chocolate notes, but I get this sort of interesting spicy, but not cinnamon and not like rye, you know, kind of mouthfeel. It's not full black pepper. It's not quite that harsh.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say it's cocoa or cacao. Yeah. Say cacao nib. There we go.
Oh, dang. Okay. Pulling out the cacao nib.
Mm-hmm. Front is more caramely, though. Kind of a big caramel bomb up front. Musty caramels. Interesting spice finish. A lot to like. Not, again, I don't think it's delivering the more I go back to the old rips, the more I actually love it. The nose is really singing for me. Lots of positive. And the candy fruit is just, it's playing well with my nose. Like my nose wants to have an affair with old rip right now.
These are some Minic-like tasty notes right here.
Almost Jim Murray level.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say the same. Mine, and it could be because I'm, my bottle's almost empty. My Weller 107, it's not a batched product, and I feel like I've noticed a tendency that the batch products taste a little bit oakier than some picks can.
Yeah, I get plenty of wood influence.
I'd say this pick is elegant. It's got some bright fruit. It's got this apple note. It's not very spicy, and it's got some honey. It's not super, like I've definitely had some that have been a little more rough around the edges. This is fine. It's fine. It's subdued. The old rip is just, the nose is great. That like musty, funky fruit note is like, it's drawing me in. It's kind of what we got on the Dusties, that Armagnac type kind of thing. You know what I mean? You got these kind of funky stewed fruits oh man, it's in the 12 too though.
Mine tastes nothing like that.
Your old rip?
No, my 107.
Yeah, well, right now I'm talking about the old rip. I had already described the 107.
Oh, got it. So I thought you were talking more about so yeah, we're same page then. We're definitely on the same page with
the old rip. So, but the thing is now I've been, now Now the old rip's been sitting for a while. I've been analyzing solely the old rip. I'm noticing on the nose it's got these kind of funky fruit notes, but then I just quickly take a pause. I go back over here
to what?
To the 12, and the 12 has just got a je ne
so the
sais
12 is the
quoi
lot B
about it.
The lot B. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, the lot B just has a thing about it. Man, the nose on lot B is way better than the palate. The palate's so basic. The winner of tonight is the old rip. It's pretty spicy though. It's pretty spicy. Or maybe spicy is not the best way of saying it. It delivers a little bit of
I mean, you mentioned a little bit of
spice to show it's
I like what you said about the red hot. There's almost an acidity when you eat a red hot. It's sort of like cinnamon juice. And I think that's kind of the finish component you get on the old rip. So I like that take.
Andrew Beck, I couldn't tell you how many Weller foolproofs that I've had. I've had a bunch. And on the whole, there were more duds of Weller foolproof than wins of 107. I always wish that stores would just pick 107s unless like the stock has just kind of changed. I have a Weller foolproof pick downstairs that like on first pop, it had this kind of like cognac type note to it. It's kind of nice. Some good acidity to it. And then locally, the Silver Dollar has put out several foolproofs, but they're also known to have really good 107 picks historically too. They've just done some really good picks, and they've had a couple of good foolproof picks. Aside from that, I know there's some other ones that have released locally that some guys really liked. I have not had access to a lot of them, so I've tried a couple that are good. But to me, honestly, man, 107 has been my favorite in the Weller lineup, and Old Rip I would probably say is probably my favorite in the Van Winkle lineup, knowing that I can't really access the 15 very much. I've only had the 20 one time. I've never had the 23.
I have never had 15, 20, or 23. But this, where we'll end with is I'll just talk about the Weller Foolproof, which, gosh, I'm sorry. I'm going to write these things down. I'm not going to do this again because this is embarrassing. Somebody sent me the Weller Foolproof. I took a little nip of it the other night, so I want to kind of taste it after coming off some of these other products. So this one's, probably comparable age to the 107, but we're just adding 7 more proof points. It's not barrel proof, it's entry proof. See what I did there? Did you like that? It wasn't on purpose. It's actually called the entry proof. Nose is a little bit sweeter than the 107, a little sharper, a little more oak actually than I was getting on the 107. 107 was kind of musty, a little funky. This one has got a sharp oak presence, a nice sweetness, but a little bit more ethanol alcohol. Doesn't smell young, but it smells alcohol-y. There's a interesting kind of berry note too. Maybe like it's dark too, kind of like a blackberry. Let's get into this. It's really good. I'm actually gonna have to pour out a little bit more of the Old Rip. I get a grapey note, similar to like an E.H. Taylor Stag Jr. kind of classic Buffalo Trace type stuff.
Yeah,
which is delightful. Like
I have that a little bit on the foolproof that I have downstairs.
Yeah. So there's almost there's a fleshy type note in here.
I love flesh. Like Clarice or like what kind of flesh are we talking?
Like when your kid needs a bath.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
That's a great call out. Deep cut. Yeah. There's something a little funky that's not delightful. It wasn't a plastic bottle, set in a plastic bottle, which should be fine. It wasn't in there super long. The palate was nice, but there's something a little weird on the nose. Big brown sugar. We've moved past caramel. We're in brown sugar and grape, which are money notes for me. So the Weller Foolproof is just banging right now. And if anybody
No,
wants to
Tom,
me
it
for
wasn't the
your
wrong
bottle,
movie.
it'd
I
be a
referenced
hero.
2 movies.
What was the first one you noted? Because I picked up the 7 reference, but what
Well,
was
the first
other
one was Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, nice.
I was just trying to figure out how many flesh-related
Nice.
things. Anyway,
We can probably come up with a few. So Old Rip is also delightful. Very different, actually. I mean, they're in the same family, same sort of base profile, but the Old Rip is a little spicier, a little sweeter, whereas the Foolproof is maybe a little more rich and juicy. Both delightful. If you had to, hold a gun to my head, guns and alcohol don't mix. We talked about that in the Smoke Wagon video. Let me choose. I'm getting kind of a perfumey note out of the 107 now, similar to like Hollister in the mall. And this is just getting more grapey.
yeah. Who was it who commented? Sean. The G300 glass is so awesome. Takes new level. You know what? My buddy, I'm gonna try and see if I can find the link. My buddy said, "Hey, I found some of these German glasses, and they're like way cheaper." I'm like, "What? Really?" And he ordered some in, like a pack of 6 of them. I think they're like $10 a piece. And I was like, "Shoot fire! Why am I wasting my time on these Wonders of Whiskey G300?" I don't know if they're the same. I've not compared glasses or whatever, but I mean, if they're the same glass, I'm gonna get more of those all day.
Yeah, my favorite tasting glass is not that because I've never tried that, but it's those Scotch glasses I've been drinking out of, the stemmed Scotch glasses. I like those a lot. I don't think I have any down. They're all dirty because I've been using them.
It would take me 4.
But I haven't used this one in a while. This one is a Riedel glass. I like this one. It's really big though. It's not really made for whiskey, but it's also dope. I like this tasting set though. I'm enjoying using these aged in ore glasses.
Yeah, those look way better sized when like they're in front of you. Like
they're like perfect tasting.
I
glasses.
need that. I need that so hard.
They're small, but they're not too small.
I need that so much.
So hard. What's so hard? I'm gonna give it to the Old Rip. The Weller 107 just has a slight, or the Weller 114, the Foolproof, has a slight astringency. Yeah. I mean, these are all great. I would probably go Old Rip, Foolproof, and then these other 2, which are good. But I'm not going to try and figure it out because we're close to an hour in. You ready to reset? You ready to taste off?
Yeah, but I just want a second so I can try and find these glasses because it's buried in
you're
chat.
Gonna drop a link. We just do a lot of free advertising. We do an inappropriate amount of free advertising on this show.
Yeah, that's true. We just do.
I consider it giving. We're paying forward. Whiskey karma, I think they say is a thing. It's gonna come back.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Glasses. Let's see if I search glasses if this will pull up. No, does not pull up.
Terrence, good question. These are not full-size aged in ore. These are their tasting glasses. So there's the tumblers, and then there's the tasting glasses. These are the tasting ones. The tumbler, which I also have one of, is also upstairs and is like you fist it.
Let's see. German. Something German. Let's see. Something related to German.
For that.
Is it German?
Nation, I'm going to treat you all to the intro video again while Brian looks for this, and hopefully he'll drop it in. Again, I spent like over an hour working on this afternoon, and it was fun.
Who would you cite as some of your musical influences?
I get a lot of guitar tapping techniques from Dave Knudsen from Minus the Bear. I've listened to a lot of Godspeed You Black Emperor, Zeros, Explosions in the Sky, stuff like that.
It's almost over, it's just begun. Don't overthink this. Look in my eye, don't be scared, don't be shy. Come on in, the water's
Neat Nation, welcome back to the Droopy Whiskey Show.
Everyone, what is going on? It is Brian.
Neat Nation.
Everyone, what is going on? It is Brian. We are back.
Neat Nation, welcome back.
Everyone, what is going on? It is Brian.
We had a good time in Kentucky too.
Yeah, we did.
And yes, I agree. I mean, I've had nothing but positive responses to our theme song, which, I mean, my wife, I showed her the intro video before we went live, and she was like jiving. She was almost dancing. So
Almost.
I'm glad you all dig that. I mean, I get hyped. I get literally hyped. Every time I play it, we do lose 10 viewers on our streams. That's
We've lost 20 actually. But.
Well, 20 from our peak almost. But it was a 70 something when I started playing it, which, I mean, honestly, I think that just means people have bad taste. Like, if you can't get down with that song, what are we even doing?
I have found the link I have found the link. This is not spam. I'm actually, it won't let me send it. It's too long.
You can post it in the comments? How long is this link?
I mean, it's long.
Oh, man. It's so bright.
It's 260 out of 200 characters.
That's so many. That's the longest link I've ever heard. Use a little Google link shortener.
Yeah, let me do that. So it's shortly, right? Shortly.
Terrence said his body started moving to the theme song. Peter Braddock says the music is on point. Let's go. That's what we do a nation meetup. We're gonna just host a rager, and we'll just put that banger on repeat. It's gonna be sick.
Here you go. There you go. Catch it, Sean. That should take you there. And these are where'd they go?
You froze.
Yeah, I mean it's shot.
We can hear you, but you froze.
Oh, son of a gun.
It always happens. At least we're to an hour mark. We made it through the primary topic. Now we go into the whiskey off. How Jarvis tiny URL still exists. Well, short URL still exists.
We'll get there. My camera will turn on in a second. Trust me.
All right, I'm ready. Ugh, I still got a headache. All right, so I've sealed answers here. Again, today's episode, I didn't mention this earlier, but it is brought to you all by Dan Barber and Andrew Beck, aka Porkins. So Barber jumped in with the Van Winkle samples. Big props to that dude. And then Porkins, Mondo contributor to the channel in the form of many a blind. And what we have today is a malt whiskey blind. We have 4, and then we have a bonus round, which let me see how the bonus round works. The 5th sample is a bonus pour, so he just wants to see our tasting notes, so that's not part of the game. So the contest is the 4 whiskeys. We have several questions to answer. First question on these: is this a single malt Scotch?
I should probably finish my glasses off and read this stuff.
Yeah, I already rinsed, man. You got to get with it. Is this a single malt
looking up the link?
Is this a single malt Scotch or an American single malt? We get 1 point. If American, which state is it from? And if Scotch, which region is it from? Speyside, Highlands,
nice.
Islay, Lowlands, or Campbelltown. 2 points if we get the state or region correct. All of these are age stated. Guess the age exactly for 3 points, plus or minus 1 year for 2 points, plus or minus 2 years for 1 point. This is great. I like the variability of this.
Porkins, you are fantastic.
Guess the MSRP based on Total Wine and More in California.
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. Guess within plus or minus $1 for 3 points, plus or minus $5 for 2 points, or plus or minus $10 for 1 point. This is going to be so much fun. I just love this. I hope you all love it too. We lost Brian, so I automatically win. I'll do this by myself. It's not the first time we just lost him. Hopefully he's okay. But yeah, the point scale is nice. Here we go. Lost you.
And I'm being like attacked with malware from looking up this shortened URL site.
That's amazing. That's fantastic.
It's like closed my window and everything.
Oh. So I've got our official nation timers provided a few weeks ago by Eric. So Eric Sawyer, big thanks for our timers. So when we go, so sample number 1, let me know when you're ready.
Give me 1 second. Sean, Drew and I actually tasted through Barrel Seagrass 16 along with Seagrass when he was in town last week, and that video will be coming out. I debated tomorrow, but I think I'm going to save it just and do it like I normally do on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, that video.
Yeah, I got a little spoiler here saying you guys need to watch this video because I'm sick and dang tired of reading about people's Seagrass impressions. It was good. Seagrass was good. It was fine. It was good. It was not the best whiskey ever. And I saw Whiskey Raiders gave Seagrass 16 100 points. What the F are you even tasting? Like I got mad. I'm mad right now.
It can't be. It couldn't be the same thing.
You would think so because it was.
Now, spoiler, it did get better as I sat with it. Like had it back in my house. But
I got a little left.
Why
but it's
is
in no
this
way close to
site
the best
doing this to
whiskey
me?
I've ever had? I was TO'd. I was so frustrated as I kept reading people like just sing these praises of these bottles. If you like it, great. I'm glad. I would not spend $250 on the Seagrass.
Oh my gosh, this
16.
is driving me insane. Why did this do this?
Standard Seagrass was very apricot-y and good. Like it was good. It was enjoyable, but I thought it was overhyped. But probably fine for what you pay for it. All right. Are you okay, Brian? Are we good?
I mean, I am getting. Hold on, just give me 1 second. You just
all right? No, it's okay. I'll entertain the masses. You do what you got to do. You purge. You get a new computer. Do you
okay, I've blocked the website. Allowed to send notifications. No, you are not. Remove. You're not allowed to anymore. Golly, I had to get into Chrome set. I mean, it was my side scroll notification.
Are you on a Mac?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I've never had anything.
It's like using the website allowed it permissions to send your computer notifications and to allow it to like open up windows, and it's opening up windows. It's saving over my StreamYard window. It's freaking.
That's not good. That's bad.
It was so weird.
So yeah, we got a lot of people chiming in with their thoughts on Seagrass. I appreciate it. Mine's
nice.
An opinion. I hold it very passionately, but I do think it's overblown. It is good. Like Kindly says, it's good. I agree, it's good. But 16, yeah. Andrew says it's nowhere near $160 better. Completely agree. I actually kind of liked the regular one better.
Yeah,
Terrence,
I had a little pour of it last night, and I mean, I did taste. I think you and I had pointed out as a spoiler to the video. I think you and I had pointed out that we didn't notice the finishing all that much. As I've sat with the pour a little bit more, I do notice the finishing in the 16-year a little bit more. But I don't think my opinions on it have changed all that much. But I did leave a note in the video that says, this is a video that Drew and I did live. While we were doing it, we also realized if we don't stop this video in the next 3 minutes, we're going to miss the live because we accidentally set it to start at 8. And so the video I don't think it feels rushed. It doesn't feel rushed, but it was rushed. And so if anyone wanted me after the video next week, Tuesday, to do another, video like I normally do, where I just chomp on whiskey really close to the screen, then just let me know. And I could do that more. You know what's so funny about that, Drew, is I've gotten so many comments this week on that from YouTube as well, from on my channel. And then people at work are like, "Oh yeah, you do that all the time." And then Kristen's like, "Yeah, you do it all the time." And I'm like, "Well, how am I supposed to fix it? Is this just my thing?" And Kenny's like, "It's just your thing, man. Just like
you just
it."
do
like,
it.
I'm gonna have to. I don't
absolutely embrace your thing. When you got a thing, you just ride that sucker.
I just don't think I ever paid
it's
attention to it until someone's like, "Bro, you're just like chewing on a well done steak."
It's like, but if you didn't have any teeth. So what you look
I
like
was like asking the girls at work. I was asking girls at work. It's like, this guy says I like just like do this all the time. Do I? And they're like, they just start smiling. I'm like, why are you smiling? They're like, yeah, you always do that. I'm like, why don't you just tell me I look like a fat ass all the time? Why don't you just say it to my face?
Say it right to my face. All right. So these are all single malt whiskeys.
We're just so I just have to worry about pouring the first glass first, right?
Yeah. They're not Japanese. We know that. They're either American single malts or they're Scotch single malts. And we're doing the first one. And whenever you're ready, we'll flip it over and begin the process. You know, I think this is a 5 minute. Yeah, it's a 5 minute timer. And in that, we have to name, is it Scotch or American whiskey or American single malt? And depending on if it's American or Scotch, where's it from? Either state or region of Scotland. All these are age stated, so we have to guess the age. And then we have to guess the MSRP, which is just, it's hard to taste MSRP, but it's fun. So yeah, here we go. You
Andrew, speaking of techniques, Andrew, we got time. Man, I don't know where I picked it up from, but I even tried it this week. I was like, let me try if I don't do that. I was like, maybe it doesn't actually even change how much I flavor, but I think it's just the way that I personally aerate in the mouth. And it does. Yeah. I feel like I notice more notes when I do that. But in regards to technique, one thing I would always just advise, I never think that you have to pour a large volume in order to get an accurate opinion. I would personally always say, give yourself at least 5 minutes of open air time before you taste. When I taste whiskey, primarily, I'm pouring usually 1/4 of an ounce or less per glass. I can pour more, obviously. I like to drink. I just don't usually. So a lot of times I'll be doing tastings. People are like, you've got to be drunk. I'm like, I don't intake a lot. Yeah. I don't spit though. Some people might, but I assume that, you know.
So here's when I drink my take. The Smoke Wagon video I did yesterday, I banged that out yesterday afternoon, late in the afternoon, and then recorded in the evening, produced it, and got it out. It was kind of fast and furious. So I was tasting, and I was actually spitting because it was in the afternoon and I didn't want to drink. But I like to get a lot in my mouth, and I like to kind of open up, like where Brian chews. I kind of stretch out my face, which is weird, and I look weird just like Brian does when he chews, but it's fine. And what I'm trying to do is open up the passage into the back of my nose to get that retronasal vibe. So I'm basically smelling it while I'm coating the entirety of my mouth with this. So
yeah,
I like bigger pours because I'm just trying to cover everything, and I feel like that's kind of what I need to get the full flavor. But when I do that, I drink a lot when I taste, and I have on several lives. So if I'm in the afternoon, or if we're doing a barrel pick, I spit a lot on a barrel pick because otherwise I would just die.
I definitely spit a lot when it comes to barrel picks, but that's about the only time. I try and standardize whatever I do. The thing that some people who make those comments probably don't know, and I don't mean this in a pompous way because I'm not a super taster, but I taste for a living. I do that for my job. I've tasted things for my job for years. And so I'm just always tasting things, signature drinks, coffees, samples of coffees, different roast profiles of coffees. I was doing it with chocolate too, different grades of chocolate. I've gone to Good Food Awards and judged for chocolate. So like, I taste all the time. And so I just try and get to the flavors, move on. So anyway,
here we go. Flip in for 1, 3, 2, 1. Go.
I have no clue how to even start with this.
Yeah, I'd say I probably have the advantage, but I also am only marginally familiar, and I don't know many American single malts, so it's a small advantage. And we're not naming notes or anything, so. State is tough too. I mean, name an American state. Like I have to think about American single malts. Like who makes an American single malt? I know of two off the top of my noggin. We can probably talk about this as we go because it's only going to dial in so much. So this one is intense. It's got a big flavor. I would say that, which is an indication to me of something. It leans me a certain way. It's not smoky. So there's
I think it's a little
very
smoky.
little. It's not smoky like Islay Scotch is generally smoky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think it could be peated, but very lightly peated.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It's malty, obviously, but it's got some sweetness that doesn't really taste like it comes from sherry or port or some kind of finishing. Like it might have some cognac influence, lightly. Like I almost wish we were guessing proof because I think that'll play in. Got plenty of time. Take your time. Think through this.
Are we doing all the reveal at the end? Just for my own knowledge?
Yeah. Yes, because I think so. Porkins, are all these packaged separately, or should we review all at the end? Wait for Porkins to, excuse me, let us know. Oh, interesting. I don't even know how to try and triangulate into state if we're talking about an American single malt.
Oh, Dan, that's sad, man. I'm sorry about that.
What did we see?
He just killed his Knob Creek 12.
Oh, I thought it was like his dog or something.
Maybe his dog's name is Old Knob Creek 12. I mean, maybe have some heart. Okay.
So tough.
Oh, well, yeah, it's definitely tough for me. I tell you that much. So but I think I'm good.
Feeling
we
good?
Just stop
Feeling
it now.
tough?
Let the time run.
Okay, so hold on. Yeah, we got just a minute. I gotta write something down. I'm almost out. I'm gonna say, yeah, go with your gut. All right, one is done. Did Porkins say how we should reveal these yet? He did not. Did we lose him?
He said they're individually labeled.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna reveal as we go. All right. Yeah, I like to do that too because it builds the suspense for the competition. You don't.
So we are revealing
lives. Yeah. So I'm picking out number one here.
We haven't even talked about our answers though.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Well, I'll flip it over. We got 5 minutes to talk about the answers. Go.
So I know very little about single malts, and I know very little about scotches. It tastes similar to other Speyside scotches that I have had. So I'm just saying that. However, it does finish a little bit smoky to me. So it makes me think that if it is a scotch, it probably maybe isn't a Speyside because most of the other Speysides are like they're very malt forward and not as much like of the smoke on the finish, and I can't tell if whatever I'm picking up if it is peated or not because I don't have a lot of familiarity with it. So I said that it's a Speyside single malt Scotch that is 12 years old and $80.
We are in the same thought process in terms of profile, and in that it's not heavily peated if it's peated, which would follow in the Speyside / Highlands. Which Speyside and Highlands is tough because Speyside is a kind of a section of the Highlands, but there are certain distilleries in Speyside. So Speysides and Highlands very similar. This has a robustness.
That's
though.
what I'm saying, Eric.
What? I was good TV. This is what the remark was. Since when is everything a competition when you grow up with 3 brothers?
Okay, go on. You were saying a point.
Robustness, and kind of a high, like it's kind of hot compared to a lot of these. Like a lot of scotches rest in 40 to 43% alcohol by volume. Very chill, very mellow. This one had some heat to it. And given a slight funkiness as well, I thought this might be American. Like his American single malts I've had have just been a little less refined. Now, granted, when it comes to naming where it's from state-wise, it's a total crapshoot. I don't have the education for that, but I said, let's go with Westland Distillery in Washington. 6 years old and $80. So we got this. We guessed the same price point, which is fun. But all right, so that's where we're at. Let's do this. It was sweet. It was enjoyable. It was not really right up my alley. But
it is an Isla. I knew it.
To be fair, though, Bunnahabhain is the least of the Islay of the Islay whiskeys. What did you write down? Though? You wrote Highlands.
I wrote down Isla, and then you were like, "It's not an Isla. It's not smoky enough." And so I erased Isla and put Speyside. But I said it's a single malt. It's a 12-year single malt Scotch that was $80, so it was off on price. I said Redbreast. I don't know. I've never had Redbreast. I just put it because that's what everyone talks about.
Nice. So go by the rules. Good job for getting Scotch. So Brian gets 1. Good job, Brian. On Scotch. Drew gets 0. You guessed what for the age? 12?
12.
Okay, so that's really good because then you get 3 points. So you're officially kicking me in the butt, and then neither one of us was close for price. So
we're not even close.
You got 4 and I blanked, and I wonder why I play this game. It's just embarrassing. All right. Well, that was fun. We dumped the rest. I've had Bunnahabhain before. It was a long time ago. It was actually at Seattle SCA, Specialty Coffee Association. That was the one time I had Bunnahabhain.
I don't even know what that. I could never spell that again if I tried.
Yeah, I wouldn't try it either. So, okay, whiskey number 2. I'm just gonna cycle these.
Okay.
Just pour it and let me know when you got it poured and you're ready to flip the. Oh well, we gotta wait for the timer to run out now. That was a mistake.
My timer's fine. What's my cat doing? The cat's over here just climbing on
doing the thing.
Bottles. Climbing on bottles. Having a good old time.
I would if I was a cat.
He's silly.
Roll myself all over whiskey bottles.
Okay, I'm ready.
Like, give me 2 seconds and then I can flip this sucker. Just waiting. It's almost done. So close. I think it's like Bunnahabhain, and there's like the age that comes later. Andrew Surfling. Anyway, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and we're on to whiskey number 2. Me likey the nose. OCD, peace out, bro. Have a good one. Why don't you walk us through what you're tasting on this one?
So, are you just using this to cheat off of the way that I
Nope.
described about?
No, I'm gonna go with my gut. I've already wrote some stuff down.
So when I it's rich on the nose. It's got a the nose smells grainy. Like the nose to me smells grainy, but not necessarily in a malt grain sort of way. Kind of in a malt grain sort of way. There's a cleanliness to it, and I have very little experience with scotches, so maybe there's tells in different scotch brands. The cleanliness of the graininess reminds me of like what an American craft whiskey would smell like. So, and it seems pretty rich. So I'm going to assume it's an American single malt because it tastes like American grain. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, so yeah, I don't want to talk too much yet, but we're not on the same page, and I may just be embarrassing myself again. The nose on this was nice and fruity. There's some finishing going on here that wasn't evident in the other one, although Bunnahabhain does have some sherry finishing going on there. I know that. The sherry was very light here. This is heavier. It's much fruitier.
It's heavier. It does still have smoke on it too. So like that's what makes me think, I don't know, do they use peated techniques when it comes to American single malts? If not, then it's probably got to be Scotch.
But they tend to either go, from my understanding, they either peat it or they don't. Like a lot of Scotch whiskeys, well, we peat some of the barley, and it can be a lot lighter in its influence, but yeah. This is not Ardbeg. Well, I would know if it was Ardbeg or be in a very similar family of whiskeys. I like this a lot. I have to say that. All right. Write down a couple more things, and then I'm going to call it good. Okay, I'm done. There's so many scotches. It's like trying to dial into bourbons, though. There's especially.
I wrote something down too, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it's Highland. I don't think it's quite as smoky as a Highland Park. Kindly threw that out. So I think the finishing is heavy. Let me hit one more note now. I'm trying to pick out the finish on this. I'm gonna say port. If it's sherry, it's very heavy sherry, but I'm pretty sure it's port. I think it's a Scotch. I think it's a Speyside or Highland. Like it's tough because again they're kind of one and the same. So Nation should say if they want to give me any credit. I wrote Speyside. I think it's 16 years. I think it's spent some time in the barrel. So I can't dial into a distillery. I thought maybe Aberlour, but Aberlour is not port. Generally, it's more sherry. $80, I thought, for a good 16-year. I'm from one of the big Speyside distilleries. Gosh, it's good though. It could very well be like a 14-year Quinto Rubin from Glenmorangie. But if it's an American whiskey, I'm going to lose my mind, and we're going to go do a barrel pick of this because I think it's awesome.
So I went ahead and put down, again, not knowing anything, right? It is heavier and smokier to me. I went ahead and put down a Highland single malt at 10 years old.
Okay.
Just because I thought, okay, if I know nothing about American single malts, maybe grain flavor would be more youthful. It was smoother at 12. I don't know. $70. I don't know. 10. So it's not as old.
Did you like the other one better? Did you like the first one better? To me, 2 was more rich and it was actually smoother, quote unquote, like more viscous. Not as hot.
the second
I
one.
liked 2 better. Yeah, I liked 2 better. I thought it was more
So
refined.
I'm analyzing
definitely
presently, so
fruitier.
I'll have to rank at the end and like taste again. It will be hard for me to do that when I'm trying to break down and analyze right now. Number 1 was softer and more familiar to what I've tried in it before. This is more unique, but it lingers smokier, and I don't know that I love that. I'm gonna have to come back to it and figure that out.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right, number 2, opening it up here. Balvenie 15-year single barrel sherry cask, which I have looked at this bottle so many times, and I'm like, I want that. That looks great. And it was great. It is sherry, so I was wrong, but it's big sherry. Speyside, so making a dramatic comeback here. So we both guessed Scotch. And then I get 2 points for region. So Brian gets 1 for Scotch, Drew gets 1 for Scotch, and 2 for region. Age statement, I was within a year for 2 points. What was your age statement, Brian?
I said 10.
Okay, so blank on the age. And then I was way off on price. What did you put for price?
70. I was way off.
Yeah, okay. All right, so it's now 5-5. So it's a ball game. I just didn't want it to be a blowout.
I have a Balvenie back here.
Really? Which one? Which one do you have?
It's the 14
Caribbean rum
yeah,
cap.
Caribbean cask.
Yeah. Tastes nothing like this, but it's good.
No,
it just tastes nothing like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the deal with
like
Scotch is the finishing. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy one. It's good. I mean, I might not buy it soon because you can kind of always get it. Porkins says, look at the bottles in the store. The super dark ones are the first fill sherry. The slightly lighter ones are refill sherry. Nice, Porkins. Yeah, that's a pro tip for Scotch for sure. Deciphering what they mean by first fill versus second fill, virgin oak. Like, they use a completely different vernacular than American whiskey, which is kind of hard to learn. But
where did the other?
Okay, whiskey number 3. I'm so glad I got to taste that, Porkins, dude. Thank you. Like, I've just looked at that bottle so many times. All right, let me know when you're ready.
1 second.
Pouring. The price point on that one is rough. $130. Yeah, this headache is. You had the migraine before.
Yeah, I worked it off. I'm good. I am
Good for you.
So ready to crush your stinking mother glasses.
That's what I like to hear. I mean, let's go.
In a completely non-competitive way, though.
Of course. You're dumping whiskey 3?
I'm good. Yeah, this is 3.
All right, here we go. Whiskey 3.
Gosh, it lingers so smoky on the palate. Why does it do that? It's not supposed to, right? It was a Speyside. Are those supposed to be like fine?
Yeah.
I mean, again, educate me. I'm
smoky.
dumb. I'm dumb.
Relatively speaking.
But why is it?
Smoky.
So why is it sit on my tongue like charcoal?
Well, it did spend 15 years in a barrel.
In a charcoal barrel?
In a charred barrel.
Ooh, I like it.
With
The
some
smelly.
this
one, no.
I get some tire. on this. I get some.
Dude, we must
rubber.
be drinking different samples.
Whiskey sample 3.
I didn't flip my timer. I'm sorry. I didn't flip my timer. Did you flip your timer?
I flipped mine. We're going off mine. Yeah. Sample 3, right? You poured 3.
Sample 3. This
smells
fantastic.
Out, bro.
It smells like bananas.
Guess what it tastes
like? Tastes like tires.
Tired bananas.
Whoa, that tastes like tires. But in a good way. It's like
it's actually not. It's not off-putting. It's funky.
No, I kind of really like that.
It's big rubber and banana. It's rubber bananas.
Okay, well,
it's so goofy.
Daddy can get behind this.
That's so funny. I wouldn't think you would be drawn to this.
Dude, I don't know. I'm discovering myself right now.
Feeling myself. Malt whiskey is fun. It's a whole other world for sure. And I did not get a doctorate in Scotch. Like I've gone far deeper into American whiskey than I have gone into
Pour some of this.
Single malts, whether they're Scotches or American single malts. So
right
at some point that will come. I mean, this is really the start of that. And yeah, it's fun. This big banana. Big rubber banana. Is Kristen nearby?
Yeah. Well, I asked her if she was awake. I told her to come down because she likes Scotch.
Yeah.
Kristen likes Scotch. So this is great. I told her, I was like, she sent me a picture of this box when you were
just have her pull up a chair.
I don't think she's quite chairable right now. But
well, tell her we talked. Hi.
So I want to know from the chat. So Nation, you let me know. I've actually talked. Me and Kristen have talked about whether Kristen should join me on some of our videos. So leave me a message in the chat. Hold on, Kristen, can you pop you want to pop in? No. She does not want to pop in. What do you think of that? You haven't tried it yet? What do you think? Come on, give some off-air commentary. Gosh, she's so gorgeous. Hold on. What do you think about it?
She's
banana blushing custard, and she's not on
banana custard that was hit by a car.
Tom says 100% yes. You need to be on. What do you think of that?
Yeah, we all would vote for that.
Also a Balvenie. It is.
Which really one did you give her? Hold on, I'm gonna
the Balvenie. The Balvenie.
Oh, okay. I'm just pausing the timer right now.
We'll try this. Here, come try this glass. What is that different? This is a different one. Come try it. I'm gonna come try this one. Come here. Come try this one. Come try this one. Come here. Here. Try it though. Try it
though. This is good.
I don't know. Try that one. They're all single malts. Not necessarily all. They're not necessarily all Scotches though.
Right.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, it doesn't taste like a Scotch to me. It tastes old. Yeah, I thought it tastes like tires.
Yeah, anyway. To me it does not taste old. But
love you. She's a big fan of the Balvenie. Right. I'm gonna have to buy a bottle of that.
Yeah, it's so good. Okay, turning it back on. We got probably 2 more minutes left to dial in here.
Yeah.
The retro, the mouthfeel on this is, gosh, is it funky? Like it stays, hangs out, and it's not bad. It's just weird.
Dude, this is chewy.
So this one's chewy. I don't know what this is. It's really interesting.
I feel like it's got a. I don't know.
I'm gonna. So let's go with this. Are all these age stated? Like,
I thought he said they're all age stated, and I don't know. Oh yeah, all on number 2. All of these are age stated.
Got it. Well, that's gonna change my guess then. Maybe. Almost out. I am riding this out. I'm going down with the ship. Going down in an earlier round. Sugar, we're going down swinging. So let's say this amount of years old. And let's see. I'm just going to ride a certain price point until it pays off for me. Okay, I'm ready. You ready? Well, we already talked about the flavor notes. I'm extrapolating that this is American whiskey. Like this is the sort of harshness I would expect from a young American.
I don't know, but it doesn't taste like a Scotch, and so I put American.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if that banana
zero.
flavor. I could say the banana flavor would be that it's got rum influence, or I could say that it tastes like young spirit grain, because a lot of young mash bills have that kind of banana-y. Some of them have that banana-y type of profile. So
I like that. I like that approach. I like the rum thinking. That said, I think this is probably coming from yeast. And no American single malts are old. Like, there's not any, I don't think, that are aged above 10 years. There's just a new category, so nobody's really been making this stuff.
It's weird.
Sawyer, thank you.
Weird.
Swing Nation, I'll buy you a drink when we're at Sand Valley here in a few months. It'd be sick.
Will you buy me a drink sometime?
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, have you sent that email to Driftless? Like, I keep thinking I had that pick.
No, because I have a life and a job and kids.
Dude, that Driftless is so good.
It's so good.
Can you give me another one?
I'll stop by. I gotta go pick up one for Plutzy. So I need to go by. I'll go by tomorrow because it's Friday, and then
I might not. No, actually, don't need it. Actually, don't need it. Don't worry about it. Just forget it.
Yeah, you got enough whiskey. Which I've never.
We're in the middle of an ice storm right now. I actually didn't know that I'd have power for this. But here we are.
Yeah, no, it's bad. We actually dodged it. It's cold as balls here, but we're not getting the pre-sip. So anyway, we're both in American whiskey. I'm thinking Colorado. I think it's Stranahan's out of Colorado.
Dude, I literally don't even know. I just said whatever you said for the first answer. Westland?
Yeah, okay. So I said 8 years on this and $80.
I said 4 years because I literally do not know anything about this, and 65. I don't. A 4-year American.
Yeah, whiskey. I actually don't know much about it. I just know Stranahan's standard one is a little cheaper than that, and it's not age stated. So, all right. So whiskey number 3. Here we go. Dude, son of a B, it's Westland. Oh my god. I'm killing myself here.
Thanks for that, I guess, then.
All right. So Porkins says it's normally 5 to 6 year old, but sometimes a 3-year-old barrel makes it through. It's 50% new ISC cask. So we don't know what the age is, because I put 6 and you put 4. What did you put for age, Brian?
I put 4.
Oh, I put 8. Never mind. I take it back. But it's 5 to 6, but sometimes 3. I don't know what to do with the age statement. Gosh, I'm frustrated. I just gave you points. Okay. So we both get a point for American. You get 2 for the state. So mad.
Nice. And then there's nothing for age statement this one.
Yeah, right.
Oh, he says it's 3 years age stated.
Oh, is that what we're calling it? Okay.
So I get 2 points. Great.
Shut up, man. Okay.
And the MSRP is.
And what did you
$60.
put for MSRP? What did you put for MSRP?
65. So I actually missed it for the 2 points because it's $5.01. I should have put 99 cents. So I got 1 point for the price.
Just keeping it competitive. So I'm 2 of the closest boys with the super chats, Tom and Sawyer. Appreciate you guys as always. You guys know that I love you. All right.
Yeah, Tom, Eric, you guys know that I hate you. So thanks.
I need to highlight Tom.
This is fun, Drew. This is fun. I like
salty.
this.
I just shouldn't have said anything on the first one. If I was going to be wrong, I should have been super wrong. You don't even know distilleries that make American single malt.
Balcones, right? They make one.
They do. That is true. They do.
And they're in Texas.
Good for you. Yep. I'm proud of you, Brian. All right. Whiskey number 4. Pouring it now.
Woo. Ooh. It won't smell and funky. This is the opposite of cornbread dripping down my jawline.
Swallowing it. Swallow.
It's the opposite.
Down my throat. All right, 4. Here we go. I just flipped it, so on the nose. Write some things down here. I'm not gonna speak because of the integrity of the institution, the competition. I don't want to give anything
That's what
away.
you get for talking, boy. So Eric, what do you want me to do after hours?
Eric is sketchy. I mean, he gets a little weird in the chats when he's had a few.
I need to figure out how to go live on YouTube. I could do it on Instagram. I don't know how to do it on YouTube yet. I haven't figured it out. I obviously know how to get video on, but this is strange. This is very savory.
I agree with you. I will say that.
It's like steak and champagne.
Nice. That's a great note. Very engaging.
It smells like steak and
personable.
champagne. Oh, Tom, that's the sweetest thing you've said to me tonight. Oh. Ooh. 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 This is like slightly enjoyable burnt dog hair. I'm trying to figure this out. Hold on.
Everybody be quiet in the chat.
Hold on. This is this is something serious right here. This is
okay.
The palate is so far removed from the nose. Wow. I mean, I guess it's not, but wow. That is
I actually have a bottle guess on this one.
Smoky. Which one? Hold on. Kristen says,
yeah, I mean, it
yum,
does.
yes, please.
It leaves an impact. So when I go to bed, if I do not use mouthwash, my wife is going to be. She's going to say, "You were drinking scotch, weren't you?"
Tastes like fire. It tastes like burnt hair. Gosh, this is hard. Drew, this is a thing.
No, you got plenty of time. You got plenty of time to extrapolate.
If this is American, we need to get them out of our country.
We need to secede them from the union.
I can't do it. I can't do it, Drew.
I want you to go back. I want you to hit it again.
Gosh.
I actually
it's got a sweet nose. It's got a sweet nose. For you, Nation, I'm trying not to chew. It's really throwing me off. This makes number 2 that I thought was kind of smoky taste like an orange creamsicle.
Yeah, I was like kind of laughing when you were calling some of the others smoky until we hit this one.
Ooh, daddy.
I'm ready whenever you are.
I'm not. I don't know a single dang thing about this.
Don't like it.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
Excuse me. Oh, come on.
I can't. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Don't be dramatic.
This is a dramatic pour.
I would agree.
Have you never burnt your arm hairs and smelled
No,
it?
100%. We all were.
This is that.
At one point.
This is that.
No, it's not.
This is that. It's that.
No, it's not.
It's that. It's the same thing.
I'm gonna rub this all over my body and see how my wife.
That's gross.
Actually,
your wife has more to worry about than your mouthwash.
She would never touch me again. Actually, I shouldn't do that. Out of time, so write down your final answers.
Ah.
Okay. You good?
That's gross. Will you? I am going to ask you to help me real quick. What's the region that has all the smoky flavors of Scotland? It's the
That's not
Isles,
even
right?
fair. Yeah.
Did we talk about this already?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And
I'm
yes,
done.
that was what I wrote down too. I wrote that it was a Scotch and that it was an Islay. There
Wow.
are some peated American single malts, but they've been more off-putting to me than this. Which
Wow.
I don't mind.
That's
this.
interesting.
If you dig an Islay, this is a lighter Islay. It's
A
smoky,
lighter,
but it's not. It is
it's
lighter.
lighter?
Yeah, it gets worse. Yeah.
What is
it's
it like?
lighter.
What does a worse one taste like?
Well, it's younger and it's not as phenolic as some of these get. Some of them get to be a mixture of like truly burnt dog and swimming pool. This one
You
is
all
light on the
really
swimming
like
pool.
murder, don't you? There's a bunch of serial killers in here.
I'm not like I keep a peated Scotch around. It's very mood whiskey. It's a killer,
I bet Dexter
killer addition to
loves
barbecue.
Scotch because it smells like his victims.
Flores, you and I are operating on the same wavelengths, but the Lagavulin 12 is cask strength. I went Lagavulin 8 with my guess. So I said Scotch Islay 8-year Lagavulin $58.
Dude, this is pretty fun. It actually has like a little peachy tone to it in the finish. I don't mind it too much.
Peachy. You were cursing it out a second ago.
Not bad. I said Islay Scotch, 10 years old, $60.
My second guess, Brian,
Super
is
smoky.
Islay Scotch Ardbeg 10 would be my second guess to this. I had a bottle of Ardbeg 10. It was more bacon greasy to me. This is
very bacony. It's a lot of meatiness.
Yeah,
Very
I got
interesting.
more so even last time I had it. But who knows? I think it's probably one of those two, the Lagavulin 8 or the Ardbeg 10. Off chance
Man,
Lafroig
that's
10,
savory.
but that one was a little punchier, I thought, like a little funkier. So. All right, whiskey number 4. Here we go. People keep telling me it's Isla. Berries. Broiclatic, Port
my daughter's
Charlotte,
name is
10-year
my
peated Scotch
my
Islay.
niece's name is Isla.
$68, $68.99. What did you put for price, Brian?
60.
Just enough.
I almost put 60. I almost put 68. I don't know why, or maybe it was 64. I don't remember.
We
But I only put
both
60.
got the 1, 2, 3. The fact that it was a Scotch and was Islay.
It is a 10-year.
You got a point. Yeah, I know. Thank you for that. Pointing that out. So for the 10 year plus or minus 2 years, 1 point for me.
This is the one I got the most numbers on.
3 points. You were just kicking my glutes somehow. Somehow this happens. It's 18-10. We have one more whiskey. He said to cleanse the palate. So, which he did give us a reveal too, so we can go ahead. Porkins, are we supposed to score on this one or no? Okay, so no, I'm gonna leave that in there. That's the last piece of paper. So, Porkins, is it over? Have I lost? If it's so, that's fine. I always lose. I don't always.
Man,
lose.
that is
I'm
savory.
losing more than I'm winning. It's the Broiclatic Point Port Charlotte peated, which is good. It's a good whiskey. Enjoyed it for sure.
Which is weird because it looks so light compared to the other ones and packs such an enormous flavor.
So here's the thing about scotches is they can add color. So a lot do. Unless they say no color added. A lot will add color because it's totally fine in single malts. Porkins says, I've lost. I couldn't think of a game for the last one. It's hazmat, so be careful. So cleanse the palate. Like give something, like probably go back to something non-peated, Brian, to get your vibes back before hitting the last one. That was fun. Porkins, again, thank you. That was a great blind. A lot of fun. A good array of malts.
Are you Porkins, do you want my ranking now?
In the way you like them? I can tell you what my ranking is.
It said Brian should rank them in order of preference. Based on that, I will have suggestions for other things to try.
My ranking.
I'm actually going to open up. I'm going to open up to you and the chat. I want you all, based on my reactions, I have written down my answers. I want you to say, in order from sample 1, 2, 3, and 4, what ranking do you think I put them in?
It's going to take forever. Okay, so while you guys write down what Brian's response is, I'll say what mine is. And so I am number 2, which was the Balvenie sherry finish 15 year. That was number 1 by a long shot. Number 2 was number 1. So the one I liked second was the Broichlatic, or not Broich, Bunnahabhain 12. It was fine. I mean, I wasn't like losing my mind over that. But also kind of tied for number 2 was that Broichlatic Port Charlotte. I enjoyed that. It was a good peated Scotch, not overpowering. So I'm kind of tied between the Bunnahabhain and Broichlatic. And then number 4 by a long shot was the Westland American single malt. Porkins pegs you as number 2 best. So he's saying you are with me and you like the Balvenie best. And then you like, yeah, he basically ranked it like I did. Then you put the Bunnahabhain, and then he says your but your number 3 would be the American, and then he put you with peated last. I can't even figure out what Tom's trying to do. I think he's
Tommy, you're so right.
1 + 1 + 2 + 12. That's an equation. Anyway, Jordan Lopez says 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure what that means either. Oh, Terrence threw out 2, 4, 3, 1. So he thought you were digging Balvenie best, and then peated second best, and then American the Westland, and then he thought you liked the Bunnahabhain least. Why don't you? I still don't get Tom's thing. 1 + 1 + 2 + 1. I'm still not tracking. Why don't you just share with us graciously what you actually
Michael
think?
Flores is correct. The number, whatever is number 2,
I didn't
was my
see
preferred.
Flores. Oh, 2, 3, 1, 4. Okay. Yeah, same page. That Balvenie was
American Westland was my second favorite. It was just different, and it gave something a little bit more than like that the Isla, like the whatever the first one we had, would that just taste like a typical Scotch. Like I think that profile is okay, but it's kind of boring. It like again, like I think I first mentioned, I was like, it just tastes like what I think Scotch tastes like. Number 4, I was torn. I almost want to say that I prefer 4 over 3. But I feel like if I put it in the blind, I'd be like, this is so savory. I can't dig it. I'm intrigued by it for sure. But I do think I'd have to put it last. Even though I find the first sample a little on the boring side when it comes to scotches, it's nice. But the last one just sits so heavy on my tongue, it's really hard to continue. So
yeah. So you went
but
2, 3,
the second
1, 4.
2, 3, 1, 4.
Okay.
The Balvenie was nice.
Yeah, agreed. So get yourself a pour you like can calibrate with. You're like, oh, I know this pour. Let's calibrate. Let's purge, and then we'll come back to number.
Dude, that's an
5.
Evan Williams, and after that bacon flavored thing he gave me, this Evan Williams tastes like Pappy 15.
I'm gonna hit rare breed. I mean, it does sometimes, like if you're drinking scotch, which I enjoy, like it's an interesting deviation from the norm. But then you come back to bourbon and you're like, oh my gosh, like why would I drink anything else?
I'm not kidding though. Like this Evan Williams 1783 tastes phenomenal after number 4. Phenomenal.
Yeah, but it kind of adds a little. It kind of brings out the oak, I think, because I'm not drinking Evan Williams. I went to a Russell's pour, but I think it accentuates the oak. You get that kind of the retro smoke is almost adding to the bourbon. Anyway, this Russell's pick.
It's like mine's
One
like
thing
cinnamon icing.
I thought I might pop this now, or I thought I might wait, but the Scotch Finish Chattanooga seemed to fit.
I'm so interested in trying that.
I might do it. Do
it.
Who knows? I might do it. We'll see if I have to do it. I'll do it if I have to, but I might do it. First,
I'm fake doing it. I'm fake doing it.
I wanted to do it. I thought about doing it. I've done it before in the past. People loved it when I did it. They were entertained by it. They thought it was the best thing that anybody had ever done. Number 5. Ready?
Okay, so Tom, I didn't really get a summation of what you thought of the Chattanooga.
Nicholas needs some good luck to win the Pappy Lottery. Godspeed, my friend. Get after it.
Also, Porkins, thank you for this. This is very interesting. It's nice to try some different stuff.
Edumacation. Okay, whiskey number 5. And these samples are full. These sample jars are flowing over. My cup runneth over. All right, so we have Porkins did say this is hazmat. That's all he said. We're north of 140 proof.
Man, I am feeling it.
Baba Booey. I didn't pregame at all, so I actually feel pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, me too. I didn't have dinner, so.
Well, I did have dinner. I had a lot of dinner. It was great. Kind of this enchilada casserole. Sick.
Jordan is asking what we thought of the Sassenach. Should I do a review on the Sassenach? I never review scotches. Should I review? Is that dumb for me to do? I'll pour a little bit.
Let's do it after we go sample 5 from Porkins. You can do that, and then I'll consider whether or not I should pop the chat.
No, I mean, like, should I actually do a video on? Or is like, don't let the bourbon guy do a Scotch video.
I've done 3 Scotch videos. I did.
Yeah, but you know Scotch.
Well, apparently not as well as I thought.
That's the truth.
All right. We can just talk about this because there's no competition. Really nice. Good. It's reminding me of light whiskey vibes.
Thought the exact same thing.
Yeah. I mean, which those can kind of lean malty.
Oak and cake, right?
New barrel char, you're not getting rye. Yeah, that's correct. But I do get some malt on the nose. It's more barley forward and not spicy at all. Very light and sweet.
This is good. I would. It's different. It kind of tastes banana.
Oh, doggy. Oh my god.
It has that banana note, like in the other sample that we had.
Oh my gosh. Whew. I get some.
It's like a banana flavored American whiskey.
Do you get some kind of new make vibes off this? Like not heavy.
That's why I keep saying to you.
Like not corny. It's not corny at all. It's got to be malt.
It's banana-y. It's yeasty.
Yeah, but you didn't say new make. I said, is it new make? Like, does that?
No, I just say it's yeasty.
Well, you said banana-y, which Old Forester is banana-y. So it's not Jack Daniel's Koi, which I do have a sample of. Thanks again to Elsa, who's a friggin' hero. She really just came through this week, so I can't wait to get into Koi. I'll either do this on Instagram Live or something. By the way, if you guys, we recorded Brian and I an episode where we tasted Blanton's 1991 up against modern day Blanton's, and I posted it on Instagram because the audio was bull crap. Unfortunately,
I thought the audio was fine, but it was loud.
So I posted it on Instagram, so you can go check it out over there if you want to. It's like a bonus episode.
It's a little flat on the nose.
So many notes here, like so many interesting, weird, but also good kind of things. Like I get a little phenol, a little swimming pool. I get sweetness, I get harshness, I get oak.
It's like banana. It's like a younger banana flavored Obtainium.
But it reminds me also of I've had 2 Glenlivet Nadura releases, cast strength. One of them was sherry finished, which was of course much fruitier, like cinnamon rolls with oranges. And then one of them was a 16-year-old, like first fill bourbon. Those were both quite good. This one is harsher than both of those, obviously, but the sort of residual flavor vibes attached to my mouth tissues are reminiscent of those pours. It's very sweet. Like, it's really syrupy, and that's kind of throwing me. Like, it's hard to place because of that. Gosh. Yeah, I have no idea.
It's hazmat banana Laffy Taffy. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I would think based on profile it was a Scotch and not an American whiskey, but the hazmat got me thrown. This is a truly unique pour. Truly unique whiskey. Light your fire, strip the warts off the mule, but also nice. Really interesting. All right. Pop this sucker open here. It's also a Westland. No, it's not also. Wait, was the other one we had Westland? Yes. Yes, it was. Okay. So this is a Westland single cask. 5
red
malt,
wine.
Red wine. Finished. So some vindication there. Hella proofy American single malt. Gosh, I would buy a bottle of this. I mean, depending on the price. What's the MSRP Porkins on something like this? I don't know how they got it that high. Like, what's the entry proof on that? Tom, the light is so bright. I got a headache, dude. I can't.
Gosh, that is intense.
Think of me like Bob Dylan tonight, okay?
I can't leave that one out. I want Kristen to try the others. I can't leave 5 out for her because she will die. It's so hot.
Yeah, that one will light your fire. I feel like it would basically be
that will burn your arm hairs and your dog's arm hairs off.
That's what I was gonna say.
And you'd be like, wow, it smells just like number 4.
Just put that on your skin instead of Nair, and then next you just wipe it off with a towel, and there you go.
Man.
Nicholas, that's a good idea. I should get sponsored by a sunglasses company and cycle different sunglasses throughout a show. It'd be interesting.
Let me pour a little bit more of this Sassenach.
Yeah, let's hear your initial thoughts on that. We're at 10:03, so we're reaching the end of this. It's been a good ride.
Yeah, first time I had this, I definitely had some limited nosing and palatability. Now, I mean, it's like a bouquet. There's what is that? It's very light. It's got some light fruits, like you would say pears, like apple skin, floral. It's pleasant. I won't go too long on the nose. I want to go on the palate real quick. It's interesting. It's like rolled oats, honey, floral. It's got a little bit more body than I would have expected. There's what's that? Wow.
What the heck?
It's good. It's man, how do I describe that? Let me go back to this.
Andrew with a fire comment here. Is there any Hollister tires or wet dog in there?
Nope. The first sample that we had has that, like, I call it cloying. That's like the best word I have for it, but maybe that's not. It has that cloying malt thing to it. Going over here to the Sassenach, it doesn't have that. It's really light. It's lively. It's it kind of has a sparkling. It's like a sparkling pear champagne, but it's not super sweet. Yeah, I mean it's nice. It's been nice. I think Chris and I both think that the Balvenie is a little bit better than the Sassenach that we have. The Balvenie 14 Caribbean cask.
Yeah. I just poured a touch of the Barrel Seagrass 16. It reminds me of the smell of old house, basically a cabin, old house where we would go hunting in College Station, Texas. That's the nose. It's sort of this sweet, spicy wood, but dank, but not in a good way, but not in a bad way. Just a dank hunting lodge.
Jordan, I don't know if you're talking like with me. Actually, Drew, when you said you picked up Seagrass, automatically that apricot popped into my mind for Sassenach also. But then citrus. It's got a lot of orange peel to it too. Sorry, not to cut in front of you. I just wanted to chime onto what Jordan was saying. Andrew, the Sassenach will be mostly grain whiskey, which is functionally the same thing as American light whiskey. Got it. Tom, you can be done whenever you want, man. No one wants you here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, we're not paying you to rent.
We know your bedtime was like 2.5 hours ago, bud. Just take some.
We know you're like 90. Coming back to the Seagrass.
You better shut your mouth, Tom, or I'm gonna take all these bottles back.
All the whiskeys we've had. You still have his driftless, right?
Dude, I've been picking up tons of bottles for Tom. I know he's old and he has to get in his wheelchair in order to go out hunting, but I've done his work for him, and he keeps talking about it.
Whoa!
Whenever he comes to town, we have our 11 o'clock meeting at Cracker Barrel so he can get his chicken and dumplings.
Look, so the country fried chicken at Cracker Barrel is so good.
He's such a good liar.
I want that right now. I want it also with venison jerky. God,
it would be so good, wouldn't it? Some biscuits and gravy right now would be so good.
Seagrass 16, and I still don't love it. I don't hate it. It's fine.
It's fine. It's 100% what it is. It's fine.
It's very fruity, and then it's dry oaky. It's not as rich or as deep as you would expect from a 16-year anything. It's spicy, fruity, spicy, dry oaky, but it's far from extraordinary. It to me is actually reminiscent of what I would expect. I don't even think it's as good as the Black and Willet. Actually, I think the Black and Willet is more viscous, and it's $100 cheaper MSRP. Okay, let's line it up, wrap it up, finish it up, call it good. I'll pop this Scotch Cast Chattanooga soon, either on Instagram or maybe on our next live. It'll be sick. I do want to get into this. I'm nervous about it because I've had tire fire from ASW and kind of hated that with every fiber of my being. I'm stoked to be given a bottle of this, and I will treasure it, but I may not treasure it while I drink it. We'll see. I am thrilled to try it though. Tom was giving his thoughts on that earlier, and Tom, what was your verdict on the Chattanooga Scotch finish? It's pretty fresh. I mean, it just dropped last week or the week before or something. Waiting, Tom. That's last thing. Last thing we need to know, and then we're gonna sign off. While we wait for Tom, per usual, probably in the bathroom again. I dropped a video this morning on Smoke Wagon. What's the deal with Smoke Wagon? If you missed that, check it out. Brian dropped a video 2 days ago. Video we recorded together. Michter's 20 versus Four Roses 20. Oh my gosh. That was such a fun tasting. Definitely check that out. And then on Monday, I also dropped a video, What's the Deal with Dusties, which was more of a Dusty tasting, but we talked about the deal with Dusties in that video as well. It was a lot of fun to make videos together. Look forward to doing that again, probably in March. March is the target for the next video session. And then you've got one more, actually. We've teased the seagrass, but you're going to release the seagrass video where we taste standard seagrass up against the seagrass 16.
Correct. Yep.
When is that dropping?
It'll drop on Tuesday.
Zook kindly says, hey, don't forget about Valentine's Day. That's wise. We shouldn't do that. Probably should stop watching whiskey videos and go make sure we take care of that. Tom Lynch says the chat Scotch finish is it's solid. Chattanooga profile, which is high malt, very malty. Chattanooga profile plus astringency, which is generally bad. It's like poison. And smoke on the finish. So we'll see. Astringency is a big turnoff for me. Smoke is okay, but it has to be balanced. And a lot of the American, like peated bourbons I've had have not been balanced. It's like bourbon and then like death. So we'll see. Nation, it was fun. Brian, any parting thoughts, comments, philosophical meanderings?
Yeah, I just want to say to everybody that it's not about it's not about the meandering and the movements, the motion. What it's really about is the people and the connections that take place and precedent in this life, and that's the matter that counts.
I may have heard that before. Hey, y'all. You know the deal. Why don't you just keep it neat?
Cheers, everybody.